Kindly mute your mics, please.
So, if it means what the reference is, okay, these two sections are somewhere associated with each other. This is the major difference. Directly I'm asking in one segment, indirectly I'm asking in another segment, just to cross check the things, or just to cross check the responses of the respondent, that whether your respondent is reading or he's understanding the variable or not. If he is not understanding the significance of the variable that I am asking, then definitely he will click in a random way. So this is the major difference, that where I am asking the variables in direct way as well as in the indirect way, and I am just verifying the things whether the respondent is reading the variables or he is randomly putting his remarks on the 7-point scale. So this is the major difference in Likert scale and ordinal 5-point or 7-point scale. So let's start the session today here. This is another very important session that is focused on a practical application of the data analysis tool to write the paper, because all these sessions are associated with each other. The intro, problem statement, that literature review, that research methodology. If you are well aware about the significance of each variable or each segment, then definitely you will be able to write a very significant or very important paper for you, for society. Because the major thing is how you are contributing to the society, to the upcoming generation, not for you only, but to the society and for the upcoming generation, basically. So let's understand what is the implication of the data analytical tools for the research purpose. So the first of all, let's discuss the learning objectives of this session, where we are going to discuss meaning of the correlation, as well as we are going to define the multiple linear regression matrix parametric tests also. And we are also going to put some light on vector analysis in detail. Possibly we'll discuss theoretical aspects if the time is will be, or if the time is in our hand, then definitely I'll discuss the practical applications also. So the correlation is a statistical technique that is assertion of association or correlation between two or more variables, where this correlation is a statistical technique to study the degree and the direction of the relationship between the two and more variables. The correlation coefficient is where it is known as a statistical measure to degree to which the changes to value of one variable that predicts the change in another variable's value. When the value of one variable is fluctuating, it is influencing the value of another one also in same way or in opposite way. That is correlation. Now, why we are studying this correlation, where this correlation helps in deriving the precisely degree and direction of these relationship. The effect of correlation is to reduce the range of uncertainty of our prediction, and the prediction is based on the correlation analysis will be more reliable and near to reality. Here, this economic theory and business studies are also studying the relationship between the variables, where the price and quantity demanded for the product is influenced by the advertisement expenditure, and what is influence of this expenditure on the promotional measures also. Here, if I'm talking about the regression analysis, then it is again a very important statistical tool to study the nature and the extent of the functional relationship between two or more variables to estimate the unknown value of the dependent value from the unknown value of the dependent variable. Means basically here two variables or more than two variables are there, where we are trying to identify the value or the significance or the direction of one value that is dependent on another one or two independent variable. The variable that forms the basis of the predicting another variable, that is known as independent variable, as well as the variable that is predicted as known as dependent variable. If I am finding out the association of the expenditure of advertisement on demand and supply of a product, then this is like a dependent variable. Sorry, independent variable, because the independent variable is your performance. So the performance is influenced by the expenditure. So the usage of the regression is providing the estimate of value of the dependent variable from value of the independent variables, where it is used as to obtain the measure of the error involved in using the regression line as a basis for estimation. With the help of the regression analysis, we can obtain the measure of the degree of the association or correlation that exists between the two variables. It is highly valuable tool in economics and business research, since the most of the problems of the economic analysis are based on causes and effect relationship. This is table which is given on the screen. If I'm talking about the independent and dependent variables, then what are the different tools that you may use for the statistical analysis? If the independent variable is dichotomous in its nature and dependent variable is interval or ratio or dichotomous in its nature, then you can apply independent sample t-test. If your variables are nominal or dichotomous in its nature, if the variable is independent, then even the dependent variable is having the same characteristics. In that case, you can apply the cross tabulation also, because cross tabulation is requiring where the variables are categorical in its nature. Another is, if the independent variable is nominal or dichotomous and your dependent variable is interval ratio, then you can apply ANOVA. And if your independent variable is interval ratio and your dependent variable is also again interval ratio, then you can apply correlation or OLS regression analysis. So this is the explanation of correlation and regression, where correlation is the statistics that assess the strength and direction of linear association of two interval ratios variables. It is created through the technique called regression, where bivariate regression is a technique that fits a straight line or as close as possible between all the coordinates of two interval variables that are plotted on two diagonal graph. We will discuss this here further in detail. For example, a sociologist may interested to find out the relationship between education and self-esteem or income and number of children in the family. Here, the independent variable is education in the first example, and dependent variable is self-esteem. In the second example, family income is independent variable, and number of children in the family are understood as a dependent variable. So suppose one is increasing, one is decreasing. If one is increasing in the similar way, another is also increasing. That is represented as positive relationship. So here the example is given. May expect that education increases, the self-esteem in the family is also increases. So this is representing positive relationship. Means if income education increase, self-esteem will also increase. If family income decrease, then number of children will also decrease. This is representing the negative association or correlation. Means one variable is decreasing and simultaneously another is also decreasing. So there is no relationship between education and self-esteem. Null hypothesis is saying that there is no relationship between family income and number of children in the family. It is noted that always we try to test the null hypothesis. We are not going to test the alternate hypothesis. If we are rejecting the null hypothesis, then we are going to accept the null hypothesis. Otherwise, it is basic characteristic of the null hypothesis that we are always going to test the null hypothesis. So that's why you can frame the null hypothesis in a way where there is no relationship between the education and self-esteem. And symbolically, we will write the null hypothesis just like H0, where B is equal to 0, and HA is equal to, where HA is representing B is not equal to 0. So B is symbol of statistic that decrease the relationship. Here, this is independent variable is education and dependent variable is self-esteem. So let's look a relationship between income and number of children, where this is the scale which is, or this is, data that we have collected or that we have in our hand to make you understand about the correlation and regression. What exactly is plotted here? These are children, this is income. Suppose your income is increasing, then your children, if the first one is 2, second is 5, one is and third is 1, fourth is 9. Means it's not representing any pattern through this data. We are not capable to say that this table or this data is representing that there is any association. But we need to plot all these variable in a graph. Then we came to know that is there any relationship in between these variables or not. So regression will start with plotting the coordinates in your data. This is the graph which is representing different dots which have been
ഷോക്കേസ് ഒന്നും ഞാൻ അവരോട്
I
തൊടാനേ
request
പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല.
to
എല്ലാം
organizing
വൃത്തിയായിട്ട്
team
വെച്ച
kindly
സാധനം.
unmute all the participant except me if it is possible. So these are the different points which are plotted here to represent the relationship of income and children of the respondent, which is somewhere giving you the picture of this relationship. Means it is representing the negative relationship in between the income and the number of children in the family, because the majority of the dots are present are plotted here in this way. In this way, majority of the lines are plotted here. And if we try to draw a line, let's understand this is this a positive relationship? Can you say that this line is in covering up all the variables or all the dots, because these are dots which are outside of this line? So is it a negative relationship? If I would try write or draw this line here, then it is excluding few variables which are somewhere out of this line. So we need to upgrade this. Is this this is representing there is no relationship, but this is there is relationship. So what is the slope of fitted line? How to get a best slope which is representing the best association or best correlation between the two variables. The slope is change in y along with as you go up in the x while following the line. This is. If we are increasing this, then how it is influencing increase or decrease in this? This is represented here. Slope 0 is representing that there is no relationship. If one is increasing, another is increasing, positive. If one is increasing, other is decreasing, negative. So what is the slope of a fitted line? This is the slope. This is slope. And we will find or will derive this variable value of this fitted line slope with the help of this purple and with the help of this red value. So the slope is change in the y along with the as you go up in the x while following the line. So means what? If this is increasing, then how it is influencing increase in the x? Means this is represented here. Change in y along with your line means if it is decreasing, then how it is influencing the value of the x? That is slope. Here in this example, the slope is 0.5. That is positive relationship. Here the slope is negative 0.5, because this is representing if one is increasing, that another one is means if one is increasing, another is decreasing. So mathematical equation for a line where y is equal to mx plus b. This is the regression line or equation for mathematically calculation of the regression. Here y is representing the line of position on the vertical axis at any point. Even though here x is representing the line position on the horizontal axis at any point, and m is representing the slope of line. B is intercept with the y-axis where x is equal to 0. If I'm talking about the statistic equation for line where delta y is equal to a plus bx. Here delta y is the line position on vertical axis at any point. X is representing the line position on horizontal axis at any point, and B is representing the slope of line, that is coefficient also. This B is sometime if we are starting to research, then we will use slope of line. When you become familiar for the research, then you use coefficient. In regression, when you will analyze your data with the help of SPSS, then it will give you the value of the coefficient, that is also beta value. This B is representing again beta value or slope of line or coefficient, all are interchangeably used in the research. So here A is written intercept with the y, x is equal to 0. So the next question is, how do we draw these lines? How to draw these lines to represent the data in an exact way. The goal of line is fit line as close as possible to all data points for all the values of the x. This is the line, which is these two lines which are representing the data that is included in the lines. Means how much data is covered under these lines. How do we minimize the distance between these lines and all data points? How do we minimize the distance between a line and all data points? That you already know the statistic that minimize the distance between itself and all data value of the variables, the mean. And the mean where it is minimizing the sum of square deviation. It is where deviation sum of to 0, where the squared deviation at their lowest value, where sigma into y minus y bar squared. Let us fit the line to place where squared deviation from the line vertically are at their lowest value across all axes. Means minimize the sigma value. This is where sigma into y minus y bar square, where y delta is line. Minimizing the sum of square error gives you the unique best fit line for all the data points. Data points, it is the line that is close to all the points. So plotted the coordinate for income and children, where this is line that we are trying to draw, but we will draw this line with the calculation y minus y delta squared. Suppose we are taking the example of 9 minus 4 squared 25. And if I'm talking about another variable, this is the for these variables, this is representing for this variable y minus y bar squared, where 1 minus 2 squared is 1. So y sigma into y minus y bar squared is a sum of squared error. There is simple, elegant formula for discovering the line that minimize the sum of squared error that you do not have to memorize. Means This is the formula which have given you where B is equal to sigma x minus x bar into y minus y bar, and the whole figure is divided by sigma x minus x bar square. Here A is representing the y bar minus x means B x bar, and delta y is equal to A plus B x. This is the method of least square that gives you the least square estimates and indicating why we call the technique ordinary least square or OLS regression model. Ordinarily, least square method is used just to calculate the data when the quantity of data is lower, or you can say manually mm, means you are capable to handle or analyze the data manually. So this is the screen which is representing or which is including different tables which are derived or generated by the SPSS. If you put some command on the SPSS for the regression purpose or correlation purpose, then this kind of the different model summary, ANOVA, and coefficient tables will be generated by the SPSS to give you the results. This is first table representing the model summary. Model summary is nothing but when you are giving, suppose this no this equation, this is equation for single variable. If you are having many variables in your hand, then then it will be represented under model summary. So this is R, which is representing the regression correlation value. R square is here, and adjusted R square is representing that how much this R value is no explained by these different variables. This is standard error of the estimate. This ANOVA table is representing a degree of freedom as well as mean square value, as well as it is including the F statistic for you, which is again very important. And significance value is representing that whether there is a significant difference or significant association of these different variables, maybe one or two, means two variables or more than two variables, means whether these are significantly associated with each other or not. Here, if I'm talking about the constant, which is this B, as I told you that when we were talking about this uh, no equation, then I told you that coefficient is calculated by this SPSS. So this is A, again this is B, which is the beta value of the income. This is constant. If you are identifying is there any impact of income, then definitely this is your coefficient value. And standard error, this is 0.75. Beta value is again standardized coefficient. This is unstandardized. We are majority of time we are using this unstandardized coefficient value. This is t-test, which is applied by the SPSS for you. These F-test and t-test are again very significant. If you are interested to include these two tests in your interpretation, then you can use. If you are not interested, then there is no hard and fast rule that you need to include these F-test and the t-test in your interpretation. But these significant value, this model summary, and these variable beta means a coefficient and slope. These two variables, these two values you need to include in your analysis. This is again a graphical presentation of the test. This is representing how to means represent association of two variables, considering that our line minimize sigma y minus y delta square, where we would regression cross data points two groups of dichotomous independent variable. Here means women and males are tested. So this is not no, just for the example. As you know that every mean has distribution around it, so there is a standard deviation also that is included in the regression. This is true for cardinal mean as well. So you also have a conditional standard deviation. This is the standard deviation which is alpha, or you can say uh, standard deviation, which is here represented with the uh, uh, delta alpha, which is a SSE divided by n minus 2. And it is derived with the help of sigma y minus y delta square, and here is divided by 1 n minus 2. So the assumption of homoscedasticity, where variation around the line is same no matters for the x, and conditional deviation for any given value of the x. These are two very important assumption of the homoscedasticity, and you need to follow, or you need to check out whether your these assumptions are fulfilled or not. So, guess what? We have the way to determine how much our understanding of y is improved when taking the x into account. It is based on the fact that conditional standard deviation should be smaller than y is original deviation. This is the proportional reduction in the error. Let us call the variation around the mean in y error 1, and let us call the variation around the line when x is considered error 2. First figure is representing the error 1, and second is representing the error 2. So this is the first error, which is represented or also called as a sum square, and the second figure is represented as sum square errors. Production error in the error, that is not so big deal. No means these are the formula that you are well aware during your statistical analysis or statistic measurements also. R square is improvement in obtaining by using the x value in getting the near as possible to everybody value for y over just using the mean value of y alone. Falls between the 0 and 1. When 1 is representing exact fit and 0 is representing no relationship. This is a model summary. R square is given here. This is calculation of R square, which is using the total value of the ANOVA. This is regression value of sum square of the squares, sum of squares. This is the manual calculation formula, which is used by the researcher if the data is lesser, or if the manual calculation is easily possible. So this is the formula where we receive the value of 4.46. This is calculated by the software for you. Just to make you understand how this value is calculated by the software. So why did I see ANOVA table? Level of x can be thought if like ANOVA, and squared distance from line means regression SS is equivalent to BSS, group means to big mean, but degree of freedom is 1. And square distance from the line to data square value on the y residual SS is equivalent to WSS. And the ratio of these forms of F distribution is repeated sampling. Then we will use, if F is significant, X is explaining the value of the variation in the X. Correlation and regression, where descriptive and inferential values or theoretical explanation is given here. This is a very important part that we need to understand. Significance of f, that you have already understood. F is representing the regression of ss divided by residual of ss. Here, this f statistic, as I told you, here this f statistic, this is f statistic, means majority, most extreme 5% of f statistic. The ratio of regression line to mean x, or to mean of y, to residual line to data point sum of squared from f statistic is a repeated sampling. Null is where r square is equal to 0 in the population. If x exceeds the critical f, then your variable have a relationship between the population. This z-score slope values that are given here, and conducting the test of significance for the slope of regression line by slapping the sampling distribution for the slope over the gases of the population's slope h0. Here we can find out whether our sample could have been drawn from a population where the slope is equal to our gases. Two-tailed test for alpha level, that is a 0.05, means you are assuming that level of significance is 0.05. If the value is lesser, then there is a significant association, otherwise not. And critical value for t is plus or minus 1.96. To find out there is significant slope of in the population, then null hypothesis is h0 is b is equal to 0, and ha is b is not equal to 0. So collect the data, calculate the t value, where t is equal to b minus b0 divided by standard error. For calculation of standard error, you would you need to calculate this standard error with the help of sigma, means under the root sigma y minus y delta squared, and the figure is divided by n minus 2, and this whole figure is divided by under root sigma x minus x bar squared. Make the decision about the null hypothesis, compare the value whether that is lesser or greater than alpha value. Find the p value and take your decision. This is the significant value that you need to calculate. This is standard error. Standard error, t value, and significant value. All these three values are very important for the decision taking. So we have talked about summary to relationship, but not about the strength of the association. How strong is association between our variable? For this, we need the correlation in the data, and these plotted line or plotted dots coordinating with the income and children. So our equation is delta y is equal to 0.6 minus 0.4x, where the slope tells us the direction of the association, how strong that is. To find the strength of the relationship between two variables, we need the correlation. The correlation is standardized slope in between these variables. It refers to the standard deviation change in the y when you go up in the standard deviation in x. This is the example for low negative relationship, because the majority of the variables are, or majority of the dots are lying behind or beyond the this drawn line, because this line is not including all the variables but representing the negative association of the variables. This is high negative association because majority of dots are closer to the line. These are very much closer to the line. So the correlation is the standardized slope. It refers to the standardized deviation change in the y when you go up with the standard deviation in the x. Recall that SD is that is a standard deviation of x, where x Sx is representing the under the root sigma x minus sigma x minus x bar squared, and the figure is divided by n minus 1. If I'm talking about the standard deviation of y for y variable, then Sy is representing the under root sigma y minus y bar squared, and the figure is divided by n minus 1. This is the formula that is for correlation and Pearson correlation, where R is equal to Sx divided by Sy and into B. So you need to calculate these two variables for Pearson correlation calculation, and this is representing the slope. So Pearson correlation, where it is represented with R, tells us the direction and strength of the relationship between continuous variable, and it is ranging in between -1 to +1. -1 is representing the negative association, +1 is representing the positive association, and standard deviation change in the x corresponds with the R, where the standard deviation change in the y. The Pearson correlation is a statistic that is inferential statistic too. So this is a correlation again calculated by the software for you people. Correlation is significant here. This is the association of income and children, and significance impact there is because it is having the value for 0.00, which is lesser than 0.05. So we can say that there is significant association of children and income in the family, because figure is for the significance level 0.000. So factor analysis, let's understand what is importance of factor analysis, because this is again very important tool for analytical purpose, and being a researcher, you need to know that how to use the factor analysis and what is significance of the factor analysis. Suppose you are having a huge number of variables in your hand, and you are not aware that how to categorize all these variables or classify these variables. Suppose for one objective, I want to know that whether there is any problem for the rural entrepreneur in the Haryana. So suppose I'm having 65 variables which are representing problems that are faced by the rural entrepreneur. Then it is a very cumbersome task for me as a researcher, as an individual, that how to represent or how to interpret this data in a significant way. I request to all the participants, kindly unmute yourself. Kindly unmute yourself. It is distracting me, and we are having lesser time in our hand. So let me explain this in a significant way.
Madam,
So that
excuse me, madam.
yes, sir.
Dear participants, it's my humble request. Kindly mute your mics, please. It's my
Okay.
humble request. Please.
Yes.
Okay, madam. Please continue.
So when you are having 65 or 75 or 85 variables in your hand for one a variable, to represent that variable, you need to collect the data with the help of different 75 variables. So it is a very cumbersome task for you as a researcher, for me as a stakeholder, that how to understand this data in a significant way, so that I would draw some conclusion. So in that case, we can get the assistance of the factor analysis, where it is used by the researcher to classify the data or to classify the variables in a few segments or in few categories, so that we would be able to know that okay, these are 5 or 6 or 7 variables which is representing these different 75 variables. Maybe 10 variables the software will give you, maybe 5 variables software will give you, that okay, these are different 7 variables or 10 variables which are calculated or derived by the factor analysis to represent all these 75 variables. For a researcher, for a stakeholder, it is a very easier task to understand these variables easily, because 7 variables are quite easy for me, which is no to draw the conclusion. So the factor analysis is parametric procedure used to analyze the interrelationship among the large number of the variables to explain these variables in terms of their common underlying dimensions. This is representing the common underlying dimensions. You need to keep this in mind. Factor analysis also address two type of the variable: observed variable and latent variable. What is difference between the observed variable and latent variable? Latent variable is underlying the factors that are relatively independent on one another. Observed variable is which may be observed or calculated by a researcher himself, that maybe the age of the respondent, maybe the gender of the respondent, educational qualification, or no income level. All these variables are observed variable, where he is marking his response for the age only. If you are asking to the respondent, okay, what is your age? Then his age is maybe 37. What is your height? Maybe 5 feet. What is your weight? 52 kg. All these are observed variable. Directly you can observe without any assistance. Latent variable is where you are deriving some statements, where you are deriving the latent variable with the help of a few factors, maybe attitude, maybe personality, maybe learning, maybe past experience, maybe a behavior of the respondent. So this is latent variable. And factor analysis is basically used for the latent variable, and observed variable is also used for the assistance only, not for no major variable. So there are two kinds of the factor analysis: explanatory factor and confirmatory factor. Exploratory factor analysis is where you are exploring the variables. Okay, you are having two variable in your hand, but you are exploring whether there is only two variable in the scene, or other variables are also. Suppose you included three other variables in your study, and you are exploring whether these three variables are also influencing in the same way or not. Confirmatory factor analysis is suppose some study already have been conducted in any other area, and I am using these these variables to check it out whether these variables are similarly influencing in the another area or not. Means I am confirming the factors where these are influencing in the same way where it is influencing in the other area also. So this workshop, let's discuss the factor analysis commonly used in the data reduction, scale development, evaluation of the psychometric quality of the measures, and assessment of the dimensionality of the test of the variable. Regardless of the purpose, the factor analysis is also used in determining the smaller number of the factors based on particular number of the interrelated quantitative variables. So example is construct teaching effectiveness. This teaching effectiveness is again latent variable, as this constructs are usually defined as unobservable latent variable. An example for this latent variable are motivation, love, hate, care, altruism, anxiety, worry, stress, product quality, physical aptitude, democracy. Means all these are all these are example of latent variable. You can you will get the PPT, and you can get the relevant information. Generally, the number of factor is smaller or much smaller than number of the measures. Therefore, the expectation is that the factor is represents a set of measures. As I told you, we are classifying 75 variables in different 7 variables or 8 variables or 10 variables. The assumption of factor analysis is underlying dimensions or the factors can be used to explain the complex phenomena. That is again very important assumption. And observed variable between variable results from their sharing of the factors. The major goal of the factor analysis is to represent the relationship among set of variable parsimoniously, yet keep the factor meaningful. So the application of factor analysis where it is defining the indicators of construct, ideally 4 or more measures should be chosen to represent each construct of the interest. Defining the dimensions of existing measures where it is, in this case, variable to be analyzed are chosen by initial researcher and not the person conducting the analysis. Factor analysis is performed on the predetermined set of items and result of factor analysis may not always be satisfactory. Selecting the items or scale to be included in a measure where factor analysis may be conducted to determine what items or scale should be included or excluded to measure. So if I'm talking about the different steps, then first is correlation matrix for all variable is computed, factor extraction, factor rotation, and then you can make the final decision. So correlation matrix is representing where it is generating the correlation matrix for all the variables. Means basically it is representing the correlation of one variable with other variable. Bartlett test of sparsity, it is used to test the hypothesis of correlation matrix is an identity matrix. And if the value of test statistic for sparsity is large and the associated significance level is small, it is unlikely the population correlation matrix is an identity. Kaiser, Mayer, Auckland measures of sampling adequacy. KMO is also very important. Very important. It is an index for comparing the magnitude of observed correlation coefficient to the magnitude of partial correlation coefficient. Means it is representing that it is representing the magnitude of observed coefficient or observed correlation coefficient with the partial correlation coefficient, where if the KMO value is greater than or it is closer to 0.8, then it is assumed that the value is great. Means it is representing that admirable figure. If it is above or near to 0.7, then it is acceptable. 6 is mediocre and 5 is not acceptable at all. So factor extraction, we'll explain this with the practical application also. Factor extraction is estimated with the help of initial factor that are obtained using the principal component analysis. Principal component analysis is the table which is generated by the SPSS for you for your analysis purpose, where maximum likelihood is included, principal excess, alpha method, means all these these tests are available in the SPSS. No confusion in this. Principal component analysis, linear combination of the observed variable are formed. First principal component, second principal component, these are derived for the researcher. This again total variance explained. Here this is total variance explained. This is a percentage of variance is explained. Cumulative percentage of variance is explained. If I'm talking about the first factor, this is first factor which is explaining the total. First factor is explaining up to 3.046. If I'm talking about the total percentage of variance, then it is explaining 30.465. This is the total variance that is explained by the value, and this is percentage of total variance, means 30.46. means only single variable. This is first variable which is explaining the total variance up to 30.46. Second variable is influencing. If I'm talking about individual explanation, then 1.80. If I'm asking about, if I'm talking about the total variance explained by the second variable, then it is 18.01. If I'm talking about the cumulative explanation, then it is 48.47. Means this is these two variables only explaining the total variance up to 48.476. Third variable is explaining the total variance up to 1.009, and the cumulative figure is 58.56. Means only three variables are explaining the total variance in the data up to 58.56. 56. So this is the total variance explained by the factor analysis. This is the factor extraction. Means this scree plot is representing the factor extraction which is given here. Means this is the first variable which is explaining the higher level of the variance. This is explaining the second higher level, and this is explaining the third higher. Means although it is decreasing, but these three variables or these three values are to are these only three variables are explaining the total variance that is explained by the data. This is component matrix. Third step is factor rotation. Factor rotation is somewhere means you are rotating the factor. Whenever you are applying the factor analysis, then you may click on the factor rotation, or you may click on non-factor rotation. I'll explain you during the practical slides. So factor rotation is nothing but it will rotate the variables again and again and again to derive the best conclusion or to derive the best result for you. Verimax rotation is also the option that is available in the SPSS. You can use this. Verimax use the orthogonal rotation yield the uncorrelated factor or component. These are also the options that are available for the factor rotation purpose. So rotated factor matrix, that is again generated by the software. Fourth step is making the final decision. Final decision about number of factors, to use the number of factors for a rotated solution that is most interpretable. To identify the factor, group variables that have a larger loading for the same factor. Plots of the loadings provide a visual of the variables cluster. Interpret the factors according to meaning of the variables, where this decision should be guided by the priori conceptual belief about the number of the factors from the past research or theory. So assumption for underlying the factor analysis includes the measured variables are linearly related to factor and error also. This assumption is likely to violated if items limited response scale, means 2-point scale, responses scale, true or false, right or wrong. This factor analysis is basically not meant for. So data should have a bivariate normal distribution. Again, this is again very important assumption of factor analysis, that your data need to be normally distributed. Observation are independent, and factor analysis model assume that variables are determined by common factor and unique factor. All unique factors are assumed to be uncorrelated with each other with the common factor. Principle of measurement, where reliability is concerned with the random error and validity is concerned with the random and systematic error. Measurement of reliability, where test retest, alternate form, split half, internal consistency, inter-rater. Coefficient is representing the reliability also, where coefficient, if it is 0.9, then excellent, 0.8, it is very good. So measurement of validity, where content is whether an indicator's item are representative for the domain of the construct. Criterion related to whether the measures are related to external standard against which it is evaluated. Concurrent when the score of predictor and criterion are collected. Means all these are no very self-explanatory terms. Type of measurement model: exploratory, confirmatory, multidimensional, hierarchical. If I'm talking about the exploratory, this is the model which is representing the exploratory factor model. Means you are exploring the things with the high level of depth. So exploratory factor analysis is where potential number of factor range from 1 up to the number of observed variable. All of the observed variable in EFA are allowed to correlate with every factor. An EFA solution usually require rotation to make the factor more interpretable. Rotation changes the correlation between the factors and indicators, so pattern of the value is more distinct. This is confirmatory factor, means we are confirming that these variables are a very important variable for this model. The confirmatory factor is where number of factors and observed variable that load on each construct are specified in the advance of the analysis. Generally, the indicator load on only one construct. Each indicator is represented as having two causes of a single factor. Confirmatory factor analysis features. The measurement error terms are independent of each other and all of the factors. All association between factors are unanalyzed. The purpose is to determine the number and nature of the latent variable or factor that accounts for the variation and covariation among set of observed variables or indicators. Two type of analysis: explanatory analysis and confirmatory factor. These are very easy to understand. No need to waste on this. So let's go move ahead. This is again very important that I was interested to show you. So for the application of the factor analysis, this kind of the interface there will be on your SPSS. So go to the analyze, then go to the dimension reduction. Here the factor is available. Click on this, and so when you will click on factor, then this kind of the pop-up box will be there on your screen, which is representing here different variables, and this button is used by the researcher to transfer these variables from this place to this place. Means variable. Select and move the Q01 through Q12 variables box, and this example will test the following null hypothesis, where H0 is representing the proposed sense of classroom community index in undimensional. Then click on the descriptive button. After click on the descriptive button, this kind of the pop-up box will be there, and you need to select the options to show the factors analysis. Means univariate descriptive, initial solution, coefficient, significance level. According to your requirement, you need to click inverse, reproduced, anti-image. Means you may click on a univariate or initial solution, your requirement. Coefficient is again very important. Significance level is important. Determinant, KMO value, as we have discussed in the theoretical aspect also, that KMO value is again very important. You need to click on that, because this will give you that whether your data is significant or not. Again, click on continue. After that, click on extraction, where extraction button will give you this kind of the pop-up box, where maximum likelihood, unrotated factor rotation, scree plot is very important to give you the graphical presentation of total variance explained by the variables. Fixed number of factors, and click on continue. After that, click on rotation. Rotation box will give you this kind of the pop-up box where none, Varimax, Quartermax, Equamax, rotation, direct top limit. All these variables are there. According to your requirement, you may click on, here we are clicking on direct top limit. Rotated solution if required, otherwise you disclick or deselect this. Click on continue and then click on OK. So SPSS will generate the results for you. This is descriptive statistic because we have clicked on descriptive statistic where this this descriptive statistic is giving you the explanation about univariate, initial solution, coefficient, significance level, determinant, KMO value. So this is descriptive statistic. Correlation, which is giving you the association or correlation of one variable with second, one variable with third, one with fourth, one with sixth, means all variables are correlated, correlation as generated. This is KMO value, which is 0.934. Again, this is a very good value. This is a very good value because it is greater than 0.9. So Bartlett test is saying that p value need to be greater than 0.05. So it is again, this is a level of significance which is 0.000. So it means level of significance or Bartlett test is justified. This is communality value, which is a communality table, which is generated by the SPSS, which is representing the percentage of variance in a given variable explained by the factors that is given to the software. Total
Kavita madam.
explained.
Kavita
Yes,
madam.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's time for question answer session.
Give me only 2 or 3 minutes only, sir.
Okay.
Because this is a final explanation, graphical presentation is going on.
Yeah, madam.
So this total variance is explained here, which is given you. So scree plot that we have explained, factor matrix that we have also explained, goodness of fit that is for chi-square test, which is here 0.108. So pattern matrix, structure matrix, all these, if you are interested to know, then you can click. Otherwise, this pattern matrix or this structure matrix are not required. This factor correlation, again, this is very important topic or the important, table, because it is representing the correlation of one variable with second. So this is the total session where we have discussed about the meaning of correlation, and we have defined the multiple linear regression with the parametric test, and we have discussed the factor analysis also. If you are having any query, then you can ask your query through dropping your query in the chat box also, even though you can ask your query through unmuting yourself.
Okay, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much, madam. Dear participants, the session is open for discussion. You can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics.
Definitely,
I repeat, dear participants, the session is open for discussion. You can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics.
வயிற்றுக்கு எவ்வளவு உரிமை இருக்கோ அவர் கொடுத்துருப்பாரு. பர்சனல் லைஃப்ல இப்ப வெளியிலமா இது ப்ரொஃபஷனல் லைஃப். ப்ரொஃபஷனல்னா வேலை சம்பந்தமான அதுல
I request to the participant, if there is any query, you can ask your query. This is open question and answer session.
Dear participants, you can clarify your doubts. Dear participants, you can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics. Yeah, Speaker Madam, if there are no questions, kindly recap today's session.
Yes, sir.